Kate Hudson made me laugh the most.
Really?
Well, you've just being with Kate Hudson on set for 12 hours a day is like...
For nearly 3 decades, the world looked at Hugh Jackman and Deborra-Lee Furness and saw proof that true, lasting love could exist in the treacherous landscape of Hollywood. Theirs wasn't just a marriage. It was an institution, a benchmark against which all other celebrity romances were measured. 27 years, 2 children, and a countless number of red carpet appearances where Hugh would look at his wife with an adoration that felt utterly real. He was the quintessential family man, a global superstar who always put his wife first. But behind that carefully crafted image of perfection, a story of secrets, whispers, and eventual heartbreak was beginning to unravel, culminating in a shocking public debut that would shatter everything we thought we knew. The legend of Hugh and Deborra-Lee began in 1995 on the set of an Australian TV show called Corelli. He was a fresh-faced drama school graduate. She was the established star. The attraction was immediate and undeniable. Hugh has famously said he knew within 2 weeks that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. Despite a 13-year age gap that raised eyebrows at the time, they married less than a year later, embarking on a partnership that would defy all Hollywood odds. They established rules to protect their bond, like the famous 14-day rule, never spending more than 2 weeks apart. They were a team, navigating the dizzying heights of his fame together. When they faced the private pain of fertility struggles, they did so with grace, choosing to build their family through adoption. Their children, Oscar and Ava, became the center of their universe, and the family unit they presented to the world seemed unbreakable, a fortress of love and loyalty. For years, Hugh's narrative was inseparable from his devotion to Deb. He wasn't just Wolverine, he was Deborra-Lee's husband, a role he seemed to cherish above all others. But even the strongest fortress can have a crack in its foundation. And then, a new name entered the story: Sutton Foster. To theater aficionados, she was royalty. A 2-time Tony Award-winning actress, a powerhouse on the Broadway stage, known for her incredible talent and down-to-earth charm. She too appeared to have a stable, happy life. Married to screenwriter Ted Griffin since 2014, she had also built her family through adoption, welcoming her daughter, Emily, in 2017. Her public persona was that of a dedicated artist and mother, her life a world away from the Hollywood gossip columns. But a single casting decision would set her and Hugh on a collision course, intertwining their fates in a way no one could have predicted. The stage was set for the 2022 Broadway revival of the classic musical, The Music Man. The production was one of the most anticipated shows in years, and casting Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster as the leads was a stroke of genius. Their on-stage chemistry was electric, a palpable force that captivated audiences night after night. Critics raved, and the show became a smash hit. In interviews, they spoke of each other with deep admiration and affection. Hugh called Sutton a once-in-a-generation talent and a dear friend. Sutton praised Hugh's kindness and leadership, calling him a dream scene partner. Their friendship seemed genuine, a heartwarming byproduct of a successful collaboration. But backstage, the whispers started. Crew members and fellow cast members reportedly noticed a bond that seemed to transcend a typical professional relationship. There was an intensity, a closeness that lingered long after the curtain fell. Rumors began to swirl, quiet at first, but persistent. Was their onstage romance bleeding into their real lives? The first public sign of trouble came in September 2023. In a move that stunned the world, Hugh and Deborra-Lee released a joint statement announcing their decision to separate. After 27 years, the golden couple of Hollywood was calling it quits. The statement was amicable, speaking of gratitude and a shared journey, but it offered no real explanation, leaving a vacuum of information that was quickly filled with speculation. The timing seemed bizarre. Why now? Then, just over a year later, in October 2024, the second shoe dropped. Sutton Foster quietly filed for divorce from her husband, Ted Griffin. The proximity of the two breakups was too glaring to ignore. What was once a quiet rumor was now becoming a deafening theory. This was no coincidence. The narrative took a darker turn when sources close to Deborra-Lee began to speak out. Words like blindsided and betrayal started to surface in reports. The amicable split portrayed in the official statement was allegedly a facade. Behind the scenes, there was deep hurt and a sense of profound shock. Deborra-Lee had dedicated her life to their family and his career, and now she was left to navigate a future she never envisioned. While she maintained a dignified public silence, the message from her inner circle was clear. This was not the mutual, peaceful ending the world had been sold. Sutton, meanwhile, said nothing at all. Her silence was a blank canvas onto which the public could project their own theories, and most of them were far from flattering. The whispers and speculation finally gave way to hard evidence in January 2025. On a cool evening in Santa Monica, Hugh and Sutton were photographed by the paparazzi. It wasn't just a friendly dinner. They were holding hands, their body language screaming intimacy. The pictures were splashed across every entertainment news outlet, serving as the unofficial confirmation of their romance. The secret was out. The longtime friends and co-stars were a couple. For many, it was the final puzzle piece, confirming the suspicions that had been brewing for months. Their official coming-out party happened just a few weeks later. On the red carpet for the premiere of Hugh's new film, Song Sung Blue. It was a calculated and bold move. Dressed in elegant, coordinating black attire, they posed for the cameras not as friends, but as a couple. They smiled, they laughed, they whispered to each other, their arms wrapped tightly around one another. An insider described them as giddy and happy, ready to show the world their love. But this public display of affection was seen by many not as a celebration of new love, but as a confirmation of past indiscretions. It felt less like a beginning and more like the final chapter of a story that had ended 2 other long-term marriages. With the relationship now in the open, the most damaging allegations began to surface with renewed vigor. The term overlap became the key descriptor of their romance. Bombshell reports from multiple sources claimed their affair began long before their respective separations. The Broadway community, known for its tight-knit nature, had allegedly known about the relationship for a significant period. It was described as an open secret, a piece of backstage gossip that was kept under wraps out of a complex mix of loyalty, professionalism, and fear of rocking the boat. This painted a far more sordid picture, one of deception and secret meetings while they were both still publicly committed to their spouses. In a bizarre PR twist that seemed to defy the very context of their union, sources close to the new couple began pushing a counter-narrative. They spoke of how Hugh and Sutton had built a strong foundation of trust and were looking to move past the drama. For critics, this was a difficult pill to swallow. How could a relationship allegedly born from infidelity claim a foundation of trust? It felt like a line spun for the public, an attempt to reframe a scandalous story into a wholesome romance. It raised questions about whether they could ever truly escape the shadow of how their relationship began. It is impossible to discuss this story without touching on the classic, and often problematic, Hollywood trope at its center. For years, Hugh and Deborra-Lee were praised for defying the cliché of the older, powerful man leaving his wife for a younger actress. Their 13-year age gap, with Deborra-Lee being older, was a refreshing and inspiring narrative. But now, Hugh, in his late 50s, was with Sutton, a woman in her late 40s. While not a massive age difference, the optics fit a more predictable pattern. A man reaching a certain age and starting a new chapter with a younger partner, leaving behind the woman he'd built his life with. It felt like a regression, a sad confirmation of a tired Hollywood script. The public's reaction has been a firestorm of debate. Social media platforms became battlegrounds for competing opinions. Team Deb emerged as a powerful voice, with fans expressing their sympathy for a woman they felt had been wronged. Others defended Hugh and Sutton, arguing that no one knows what goes on behind closed doors and that they deserve to find happiness. The story has forced a reevaluation of Hugh Jackman's carefully cultivated, nicest guy in Hollywood image, leaving it, for some, irrevocably tarnished. Now, as they step into the future as a public couple, Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster face a complex path. They are said to be excited to share their future together, but that future will forever be linked to their past. Will they work together again, risking further public scrutiny of their dynamic? Will their relationship withstand the pressure and controversy that surrounds it? And the biggest questions remain unanswered. What is the real, unfiltered timeline of their romance? Was there a definitive moment of betrayal? And what are the true, private thoughts of Deborra-Lee Furness, the woman who stood by his side for 27 years, only to watch her life's narrative be rewritten? What we are left with is a story far more complex than a simple Hollywood romance. It's a tale about the deceptive nature of public image, the fragility of even the most seemingly perfect relationships, and the messy, often painful reality of the human heart. The story of Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster serves as a stark reminder that the fairy tales celebrities sell us on the red carpet are often just that, tales. The reality, hidden behind the flashbulbs and curated smiles, is always infinitely more complicated.